All right, let's get some picks for the Bucs-Ravens Thursday Night Football matchup from Jon Berger. And John, we are kicking things off with some QB props. First one, Tom Brady over/under on 1.5 passing touchdowns. Now, obviously, you know Tom not throwing a single TD pass last week against Carolina. What is your play on this one, John?
Hey, can we go on a 4-shot? I just want to get Hassel or a 3-shot Hassel. Haven't we had this discussion about, I think Brady was too old like 5 years ago, was he not? I mean, he's too old, he can't play and all this stuff going. Look, I don't buy it. Like the offense is not playing well. I get it. Offensive line doesn't look great. There's not a bunch of speed perimeter players. Brady doesn't look good. But look, at some point in time in this season, and anybody who's out there who questions Tom Brady as a quarterback, as a man, as a competitor, I'm just going to go the other way. And I think he's proven us all wrong on a number of different occasions. Is that tonight? Probably. Could it happen? Could it be another bad game because of the offense? Yeah, that may happen. But look, I'm going to double down on Brady. At some point in time, this is going to turn. I understand he's 45 years old. I just don't buy it that all of a sudden he's too old to play quarterback, because nobody was saying that last year. So I don't know what happened between last year in the playoffs and this year. Apparently he got too old. Look, I'm going to go over on the 1.5 touchdown passes. The reason I say that is I think the Ravens offensively are going to go to a run-heavy set, which is going to chew a lot of clock. I think the Ravens are going to have more success running the football at Tampa versus Tampa running the football at the Ravens. Therefore, Brady's going to be working with some clock issues, meaning there's not going to be a bunch of time. And with that, I'm going to take Brady. I'm going to take his 45-year-old body that everybody's saying he can't play, and it's going to be a complete meltdown. This guy's going to come out, and he's going to play with vengeance tonight. He's got a lot of stuff going on in his life, but I'm going to bet on Brady. I'm going to bet on the GOAT. I just think he comes out tonight trying to make a statement, and I think he exceeds the 1.5 touchdown passes, only because I think that's the way the game's going to play out with the Ravens trying to run the football.
I just feel like, John, a lot of our experts, I'm not saying you, but the Pete Priscos of the world, they've been saying the same thing the last couple weeks when they were double-digit favorites going into games, and they lost outright. So I'm saying right now, done. 45, too old. That's the cutoff. If you're 44, you're playing well. Not going to happen when you're 45.
All right, I get it. Go with that. Good luck with that.
And they're 26 in the red zone touchdown percentage this season. Not saying that's all Brady's fault. Obviously, there's other factors in there, but just something.
There's other stuff going on. Look, there's other stuff going on offensively. Like the offensive line has been porous. Who's the big dominant back that we're used to seeing in that offense? I don't see it. He doesn't have great perimeter players that are getting separation. You can't put all this on Tom Brady. And if you want to hit the easy button, Hassel, that's fine. I'll support you. Hit the easy button, say he's too old. But I'm sorry, in the last 6 to 7 months, he hasn't got too old to play this game. The offense is sputtering. They'll get it figured out. He's going to throw more than 2 touchdowns tonight.
All right, so John is on the Tom Brady train. The next prop for TB12, John, over/under on the 282.5 passing yards for Brady. Now against the Panthers, he had 290. Steelers 243, 351 for the Falcons. So, John, where are you leaning on this one? The over, or are you going the under?
Well, according to Hassel, he might need like 450 for the Bucs to stay in this game tonight. So go ahead, Hassel, take the over on 450, but I'm going to take the under on the 282, and I'll tell you why. I think the sweet spot here is between 250 and 282. You look at the Ravens defense, they've given up 250 or more twice this season. So do I think Brady goes over the 282? No, I don't. Do I think he gets over 250 and it lands somewhere between 250 and 282 with a couple of touchdowns? I do. And because of that, because of the trend lines, I'm going to take the under Brady at 282. I think he gets somewhere in that sweet spot, 250 to 282, but I'm not going to follow Hassel off the cliff and take the over at 450.
Okay, Tom Brady, we're getting a lot of hot takes from both sides. Now we're going to switch things over and talk about the Ravens. We're talking about props for Lamar Jackson, John. So we know Lamar's struggled a bit, to say the least, in his last 3 primetime starts. 3 passing touchdowns and 6 interceptions in his last 3 primetime starts. So Lamar Jackson, over/under 1.5 passing touchdowns. John, what do you do here, knowing all of that about Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, it was a good setup. I appreciate that. Look, I think this is, I'm cringing because I'm worried about this game, like the 3rd straight Thursday night game that just looks awful on television. I'm worried about it. I hope it doesn't play out that way. I hope there's a ton of points scored. I hope it's entertaining. I think that'd be good for the league and both teams and for everybody that enjoys the NFL. I think on this bet, I'm going to take the over in this situation. And the reason I say that is you look at the trend line, he's got 13 touchdowns on the season. And if you look at the Bucs defense, they've given up 16 touchdowns, right? So if you start to average that out, that's somewhere around 1.5. This is a pure value play for me and just odds play. I think there's probably going to be a number of situations where you see Lamar Jackson get loose, busted play, create, improvise, get downfield. At some point, the Bucs defense is going to have to react to that, probably go to a zone package, and we'll see how that cat and mouse game plays out. But this is a pure analytics play, pure numbers play. I just think the trend line holds, and I think he gets up over that number based on what the Bucs defense has done all season.
Yeah, it seems like the Thursday night games have been a battle of the kickers recently, so hopefully that turns around. John, now talking about...
Yeah, it's a war of attrition to who hits the under first. That's what it's been. Let's hope it's not that tonight, right?
Right. So, John, we're going to talk about rushing yards for Lamar Jackson. Over under 60.5 rushing yards. Now, we know he ran for 59 yards in last Sunday's win over Cleveland. Do you like the over here, or are you going to go the other way, John?
This one's odd to me because I think it screams take the over. And the reason I say that is first of all, he's averaging 70 yards. And second of all, when you look at what Tampa's D did, I mean, they gave up close to that to Marcus Mariota. Now, do you think Lamar Jackson's better at running the football, or do you think Marcus Mariota is? In that scenario, I'm going to take Lamar Jackson. So they gave up close to that to Marcus Mariota. You look at their defense and how it's going to set up tonight. You look at all the injuries in the secondary. I actually think this might be a lot of points put on the board. Because I think the Ravens are going to have some success offensively. They don't have success throwing the football down the field. You know what Lamar Jackson's going to do. There's going to be some design run plays, quarterback draws. He can create, improvise, get the ball downfield. If Tampa does decide to get in those one-on-one situations and go, man, the defensive backs are turned when Lamar breaks that line of scrimmage. So I just think this one's a little bit, this is probably the best bet I think that's on the board right now. I'll take Lamar Jackson, take the over on that, on the rushing yards.
All right, so John, now we do want to get your pick for an anytime touchdown scorer tonight. Who are you going with?
I don't know. I don't know if Mark Andrews is going to play the tight end. Let's assume he doesn't play. I'm not clear on whether. I haven't seen anything this morning. I didn't check the wire, but as a tight end, he's got 5 touchdowns. And the Bucs were giving up. You look at the touchdown passes they've given up, about a third of those of the tight ends. If he doesn't play, I would check down to Leonard Fournette. And I realize his numbers aren't great, but I think in a game like this, when you got two teams coming in, must-win situation, I think Brady's going to be playing with his hair on fire. I think he's have limited opportunities because the Ravens are going to run the clock. I just think in this situation, I think it sets up for Leonard Fournette. I think he's going to have an opportunity, especially inside the red zone, big body back. I think he can get it done. I like this bet. I like the value on it as well.
And John, finally, the Bucs now favored at -2. We know Ravens, they're 3-4 against the spread. Are you going with the Bucs to cover, betting the total? What's your play here?
Well, I'm not going to follow Hassel, and I'm not going to suggest that the Bucs take the forfeit because Brady's too old. So I'm not going to go down that path. But thanks for the input, Hassel. I do appreciate that. I just think at some point in time, this is going to turn offensively. Tom Brady is too much of a competitor. He's in there every morning trying to figure out this offense, trying to create plays downfield, sitting at home at -1. I'm going to go ahead and go with Tom Brady, despite him being 4-5, and despite Hassel wanting them just to take the forfeit because he's too old. But that's where I'm headed.
Okay, so.
Jeez, John's taking his personal.
I know. Well, now we know you stand firm.
Hassel, I'm kidding. We've worked together too long. Knock it off.
Jon Berger giving us his best bets for the Bucs Ravens on Thursday Night Football. Our main takeaway here is that 45 years old, according to Jon Berger, is not too old to play quarterback. So let's recap John's picks otherwise. Tom Brady, over-under 1.5 passing touchdowns. He likes the over there. For Brady, the over-under for 282.5 passing yards. He likes the under. Now he likes the over for Lamar Jackson, 1.5 passing TDs and 60.5 rushing yards for the anytime touchdown scorer. He likes Leonard Fournette and taking Tampa Bay at -2. And starting at 6 p.m. Eastern on CBS Sports HQ, you can watch the Ravens Bucks preview show. It is over 2 hours of coverage leading up to kickoff.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.